I got an email. Someone wrote me about why can't they stick to anything? Why they'll try eating healthy and they'll be able to do it for 6 months, but then they go back and eat worse afterwards and just kind of binge on junk food or exercise program. It could be anything. And we're always trying, especially around the new year, we're always trying to change or remake ourselves into the people that we think we should be or want to be. And I think there's a fundamental, and I've totally guilty and struggled and have learned so much from making all these resolutions and changes, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to become a better person, and then failing. And I think the real damage is done is we start eroding our trust or faith in ourselves that we're able to complete our word. So what I've learned is a more effective approach is to set achievable small bite-size goals. And even more effective than that is accepting our flaws and asking ourselves, do we really want to pay the price for the goal that we want? If it's well, I want a six pack. I want, to go on the beach and have a six pack and be this muscly guy, and that's what I want to do. And yeah, in the past I might have thought like that, but then I ask myself, well, am I willing to pay the price? Everything has a price. You go into a nice department store, you might see a lot of beautiful things, and you might say, oh, I want that, until we look at the price. We're not willing to sacrifice working X amount of hours in order to have this possession. And the same principle needs to be applied when we're setting goals and trying to change or fix ourselves or become better people. And say, hey, is this something am I willing to pay the price? If I want that six pack, am I really willing to go to the gym, 1, 2 hours every day and do crunches and do all those things that are necessary, give up all the foods that I might like in order to have that six pack? And when I do an honest assessment, I say, no, it's not worth it. I prefer spending the time with friends. I prefer spending the time reading. I prefer to spend the time meditating or nature or enjoying, chocolate. So that's the first problem. I think we don't do an honest assessment of, are we willing to give up? Are we willing to pay the price and sacrifice? The second thing is it's human nature to bite off more than you can chew. Well, I want to be thin. I want to have a six pack, and I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start January 1st. I'm going to go to the gym, an hour, 2 hours every day, and I'm going to just, pay the price and suffer the pain of doing all the crunches and whatever, the cardio and all those things. And then, 2 weeks later, we give up, or maybe we're even able to last longer than that. And if you look at how old you are and you look at how long it's taken to ingrain the habits that you currently have, think of the habits or your life pattern as like a rut. Think of the Grand Canyon. When the Grand Canyon was formed, first it was just started a slow moving river, and there was no depth to it. And year after year, that river slowly eroded and eroded and eroded until you have this magnificent hole in the ground. And our habits and our lifestyles and who we are has been evolving and ingrained within us over our lifetime. And so what people want to do is okay, I'm going to jump. Unrealistically, they say, I'm going to jump out of the canyon, the rut, whatever habits I have, and I'm going to fix and change myself, and I'm going to start doing A, B, C, right away. Where a much healthier approach is to start getting some foundation and start slowly but steadily lifting yourself out of that rut or that canyon that you've built around yourself through a lifetime of ingrained habits. And you just slowly, so taking the gym example, you start saying, oh, okay, I'm just going to go for 10 minutes. 10 minutes 3 times a week. And then you start there, and then you say, okay, I'm going to go next month 15 minutes. And what you find is that 10 minutes is totally doable, and you're starting to ingrain this habit of self-discipline. Self-discipline is such a key ingredient, I think, in the spiritual, to have inner peace. We must start with our self-discipline, and we must start slowly. And look at the things that we really want, that we're motivated towards, and keep it simple. Maybe just set 2 goals. Go to the gym and keep an organized room or house, whatever it is. And I think it really starts there. And self-discipline takes time and patience to build. Rome wasn't built in a day, neither is self-discipline. It's a slow, steady practice. And then another thing to keep the goals, is I made a couple keeping New Year's resolutions videos. You might want to check those out. The other thing is to document everything. To document how often you go to the gym, and just see the completion of your goals on paper, or on a computer, or on iPhone, or whatever it is. I use the iPhone to track all those things, which is a wonderful tool. There's some great programs for that. And you just start with things that you love. And instead of beating ourselves over the head, and we have to do this and we must do that, and we start just really simple. And I think one of the best jumping off points for self-discipline is simplicity. Is eliminating all the things in our life that are draining our energy. And simplicity can be in so many areas. It can be in responsibilities and obligations, friendships that are not growing, and focusing instead on quality. And I try to go through my possessions regularly and say, you know what, I haven't used this in the past 6 months. Somebody else could probably use this. And just cleanse. Because each thing, we don't realize this, but each possession, each obligation, each burden, each new goal we set exacts a price. And that price is our life energy. And we have a limited amount of life energy. And I think that's a problem. We set a lot of goals without really, it's like making purchases where we just don't have the money. And we set a lot of goals and have a lot of expectations on ourselves when we just don't have the resources. We're just too tired, too drained, or just too committed in other areas. So the first place is simplicity, and keeping things in order, being organized. There's something just about cleanliness and order that clears the mind and helps you focus. And it's just really, I think the key is clearing out everything that is not serving you. And my other videos talk about the 80-20 principle, but again, to repeat that, 20% of the things in your life bring 80% of value or reward or fulfillment. 80% of the things in your life, whether it be possessions, friendships, whatever, responsibilities, only bring 20% reward. And I think the key to really achieving goals is to clean house and clear out anything and everything that is not in sync with who you are, with who your being is, what you're passionate about, what you love. And those things weigh you down. They're like anchors on your feet. And that's why we wonder why we can't achieve the things we want to go, or want to do, or move in the direction where we think we should be. And it's just, that is a freeing energy, is just applying that 80-20 principle to everything. Is just really necessary. Even with the words, and I talked about in this other videos, but even with the words that we use, do I really need to say that? Did I really need to eat this? And just cleaning house, it feels so good. Thanks for listening.